Hello, handsome. I was at the Cheesecake Factory, this week, and I realized I have like this like somewhat just bad habit, and you want me to talk about what's on my face, right? Just what you perceive to either be two dead caterpillars joined at the hip, or just a bunch of dirt I got on my face. Well, it's not. It's a mustache. People have them sometimes, and I know I either look like a kid who's just entered high school, and he knows he can grow facial hair, and he's he's looking for a place to fit in, and he sees just like a whole flock of just hipsters, and they have like the faintest of facial hair, but he thinks they're cool, and he's just like, oh, I could grow one of those on my face, and they will love me, yes, and I'll shop at American Apparel to look like I shop at thrift stores, oh, and or I look like your creepy uncle, and it's not fair that you think he's creepy because look, the man's nice. He is, he loves his family. I mean, he tells funny jokes sometimes, but he just kind of sits a little too close to you, and he just touches you a little too much. Just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, he pats you on the head and on the shoulders, like, oh, good for you. But yeah, he's still creepy. But you're the only one that sees that. The rest of your family's like, oh no, like he's a great guy. It's his facial hair. Sure, he's a little stuck in the 80s, but it doesn't matter. Like, and you sympathize for the man even more, and you feel even more bad about calling him creepy because he like he's going through some rough stuff ever since him and Janice got divorced, and it's like the same thing. You always felt Janice was kind of a bitch, and you always kind of knew she talked behind people's backs, but you could never prove it. But just like every time she'd be on the phone or talking to your uncle, like you'd catch her and she'd just have this look of like, oh, like he's here, he's gonna tell his mom, and so just like Janice, like so you're kind of happy she's not in your life, but you sympathize for the man too at the same time, but you could tell just like she was the kind of person at a younger age, whenever there was pizza, like she had the most pizza and still took the last slice, even though she had no right. And she deprived another person who did not get his full intake of pizza. She deprives him of something so beautiful. It was like, I mean, it's just like pizza had to be mankind's achievement. Just humankind's greatest achievement was pizza, and they could have stopped there. And I'm glad they didn't, because then they just had to be like, oh, hey, I am talking to you in this racist accent, and I'm gonna stop now, and then they were just like, oh, hey, like, this pizza's just, oh, it's so good, we need to get this pizza to people. And then the guy was like, oh, yes, we do, we need to get this pizza to the people. And so it's like, oh, okay, what if we deliver it? And he was like, stop right there, you hit pizza gold. And then they did that, and then pizza was able to reach the farthest. That's how I imagine the first pizza was sold. It was just somehow they sent a letter to Italy, and they're like, I want a pizza, and it was to America, and that had to be the first delivery. That's how pizza got around. It was just that it was delivered across the world that way, and thank God that happened. But I'm glad they didn't stop there, because then Humankind went on to go make a TV show called Breaking Bad, which I won't spend that much time on, because you should just watch it, because it's an amazing an amazing drama. I don't know how else to put it. It's just, you should just go watch it. But not right now, obviously. Watch this video. Watch this video like 3 times and then go watch it. Yeah, and then go watch Breaking Bad, because it's really just the best show. But this is about the Cheesecake Factory. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I was at the Cheesecake Factory, and a habit I've developed is just like, I stare at just really attractive people, and I shouldn't. And sometimes I point. I mean, just like the hostess, or I don't know, the person whose job is to walk people to their tables but be really attractive. Like she like I was like, I was starstruck. She was like really white and had red hair. She just had all the qualities I look for and a redheaded white woman. You know, it was just perfect. And and so my friend, she was sitting across from me, and I'm pretty sure I pointed at her, and I was like, she's really attractive, and I feel like she looked at me too, and I feel like she saw me point at her, and I don't know if I kept my finger there, which or just slowly lowered it, but I'm really thankful I just didn't raise it and be like, oh, there's a roof here, there's a roof, and it's all roofy, and like it's just like if it rains, it's like, oh, not this time, rain, you're not gonna get in here. Just no, rain, it's not gonna happen because there's a roof here. And then she would just be looking at me and be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. He's pointing at roofs, and just, of course I'm not even gonna talk to this guy. I'm not even gonna walk in his area. If people want to sit around him, I'm gonna take him to a further place. That's how much I want to avoid the guy who seems fascinated by the invention of roofs. Then, rightfully so, she should do that if I start talking about roofs. And I mean, I think like her level of attractiveness really bummed me out, because I knew, like, I mean, one, she's like in her like mid-20s, and I'm 18, and I have dirt on my face, you know. But I knew like I'd never have the chance to make her laugh, and I don't know what it was about that. It kind of bummed me out for a little bit, because then I realized like, oh, there's so many people that just pass by, and that's just like, oh, there's so many attractive people, obviously, because I'm shallow and narcissistic. Sometimes, not all the time, but I'm pretty sure most of the time I actually am. But that's just my secret and your secret, people watching this. Just disregard what I said again. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just, man, fuck Janice, you know?